In this video, we're going to demonstrate our wall framing assembly tool for our light gauge metal framing plugin. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go to our estimating tab and select our BP location folders. We're going to drag over a location folder, and we're going to do we're just going to do some interior wall partition takeoffs. So we'll leave our location at first level walls. Click back over to the Home tab. Okay, so now we're going to select our BP light metal framing assemblies. And this plugin is designed just to pick up the interiors for light gauge metal framing. Any light gauge metal framing partitions or any kind of ceiling framing that needs to be done in light gauge metal can be handled with this plugin. Okay, so we're going to go to our in our takeoff assemblies folder. We'll open our walls folder, metal. So we've got two main wall framing assemblies here. We've got a linear just to pick up our metal, our interior partitions, and any kind of furring or anything that you need to do. And then we have a gable or rake wall framing that you can pick up from an elevation drawing, and we'll go over that tool in another video. Okay, so we'll select our metal wall framing assembly. Just like all the rest of our assemblies and all of our plugins, it'll populate this form. You just work your way across the tabs. So we're gonna name this assembly 3 5/8 by 8 feet interior walls. And then you can set an amount here per square foot if you want to calculate an amount per square foot of wall for this wall type in your bid report. The wall width will be just it will set the line width in our takeoff, our linear takeoff, so we'll set that at 4. Our wall height will be the height that we want to calculate times our linear total for our to create the square footage for our bid amount. Okay, and then the multiply again. If we had one floor plan that represented multiple levels, then we could set the multiply to, if this was represented 3 levels, we could set multiply to 3, and it's just going to multiply our takeoff linear footage times 3. Okay, so we just work our way across the tabs, make our stud selections. We'll do a 3 5/8 stud. Stud type is standard. We can select a stud gauge, a stud length, and we'll choose 8 feet here. And on center spacing, a stud multiply. Let's say you had 2 studs every 16 inches. If you wanted to set a multiple for your studs, you can do that as well. And then a description and a waste percentage. There's a separate waste percentage for each material that makes up this wall assembly. So you can set your stud waste to a higher waste percentage than, say, your top tracks or bottom tracks or blocking. And then you just work your way across the tabs, make your selections for your top tracks, your size gauge, your material length, the description, your waste percentage for top tracks, bottom tracks. If you want blocking in the wall, you can set that up, size and gauge, material length, how many blocking plates, description, and a waste percentage, and then bracing as well. If you want to add some additional material for wall bracing. As with all of our assemblies, any of the items in these tabs that you don't need in this particular wall assembly, you can just select NA for the material size, and it will filter out and not include that material in this wall assembly. Okay, so once we've gone through, set up our wall assembly, the last step before we start our takeoff, we just want to make sure we've got our location folder selected. You'll have a drop down, and so it's picking up this location folder that we previously drug into our estimating tab. Okay, now we'll just click OK and do our linear takeoff of our partitions. Okay, so we've taken off some interior wall with our wall assembly. Again, with all of our assemblies, you could go in and duplicate the main wall assembly very easily, and then just rename it and go in and through your tabs and make, set up different types of walls, different, with different stud sizes, different heights, and basically just create your own library of preset assemblies if you've got wall types that you use over and over. Okay, so we've done this linear wall takeoff. We'll just go take a look at our reports real quick and see how it's populated the material into the reports. So this is our bid detail report. We've only got one takeoff item so far, but you can see here this is what we named our assembly. And this is the bid amount it's calculating based on that price per square foot that we put in. If we look at our materials by location report, you can see here's the location that we assigned to it, first level walls, and this is the materials that it's calculated for that one wall takeoff that we've done. And then our consolidated list is just going to, as we do more takeoffs, it's just going to continue to consolidate the like name materials together and generate one consolidated list for us for our project.